Hey there, lovelies. Thanks for tuning in. I just finished a wonderful deep dive video on entity attachments and unwanted thought forms for my Patreons. We're going further into this subject so that we can learn more about it and understand the tools and techniques that we can use. I'm also preparing for a group coaching call with my Patreons next week, where I'll get some one-on-one time with each of the top tier members to discuss as a group what they're going through and work through some strategies for more health and healing. So I wanted to just quickly recap the conversation around anxiety and depression and open it up even further, meaning that we can integrate those concepts and work towards an action plan moving forward. So I've always believed that it's not knowledge that changes us, it's what we do with the knowledge that we acquire. So if you resonate with those concepts around anxiety and depression, I'll just ask you a few questions to navigate your journey forward. The question I was asking myself the other day was, well, on a collective level, why would we have chosen mental health to evolve through? How is that serving us? What's actually involved in this process that's going to help us learn and grow as people, as a community, as a global community? And as I let that question shift and change things within, I came back to a very grounded and practical truth that I always use in my healing work with clients as well. So if you resonate with the idea that anxiety and depression is actually, there's more going on there than just those diagnoses being handed out, there is a relationship with something shifting within, something that needs to evolve after the old parts of ourselves are dying away, and also the repressed emotions and the vast array of emotions that can be labeled under those umbrellas, and how we can step into feeling things and using language for those feelings more so that we can move through emotions and keep them in motion. So if you resonate with that, let me just integrate that a little bit further. So when a client comes to me with mental health issues, whether it's simply hyper-awareness of the mental space, changes they want to make, noises and narratives they don't want to hear anymore, or they're just hungry for more control over the mind or more alignment with the mind and the body and the spirit, I always go for the foundations of that person first. And what that means for me is I look at their diet and lifestyle, I look at their eating patterns, their sleeping patterns, I look at whether they're connected to the sun, movement, if there's skills and knowledge around self-care, and if they have worked on that plane before. That's where I bring in a lot of my Chinese medicine background, but certainly looking towards solutions for that individual is where I start. Because what we touched on in those previous videos is there's quite a lot to unpack when we get to the place of anxiety and depression. I feel like when we get to that place, we have gotten there because there's an accumulation of stuck emotions, right? To keep it really simple. Which means as we start unpacking that, it might be a fairly confronting process. So we need a solid foundation so that that person has the best shot at changing and moving forward with momentum that feels like those changes are going to stick and that they're going to feel clear and supported and encouraged in that process, right? This is why it's really important to work alongside a health practitioner that can help you unpack these things in a way that feels in alignment with what you believe in and your value structure. So if you are starting to navigate that journey in mental health, or if you're simply hungry for mental health that feels better on a day-to-day basis, go for the foundation first. Look at your daily flow and the diet and lifestyle and this area of your life that represents a big part of self-care, and see if there's anything that you can tweak, something that you might need more knowledge in, maybe more skills, or a professional reflection of how to get that foundation rock solid. And what I mean by that is we don't want to go changing really big belief structures or feeling really big repressed emotions when we don't have that foundation in place. It's really that foundation where change can start to grow, where we have the right resilience towards opening up those files of anxiety and depression. Particularly if it's a long-standing pattern, we're going to need more foundation. And when, in my experience, when that foundation is really solid, we can go further and further and keep changing and shifting and healing and moving through lots of different themes, lots of different ideas and beliefs and traumas and experiences and relationships, because that foundation is there. It's really hard to integrate anything on the mental plane if your brain doesn't sleep and go through the beautiful process of integration that happens while we're asleep. If your body isn't getting the nutrients that it needs to keep the metabolism and the blood sugar levels where they need to be, because we know that there is a relationship between mood and blood sugar and all of these integrated health concepts. And if we don't have that foundations, which means we don't have the resources to start changing and shifting things in a way that will mean healing, then that's what we address first. If someone is too busy to have the time and the space to feel, then that's what we look at as well. If they don't have any people of support or good relationships around them, then we work on that first. So when it's all connected and when we honor the parts of ourselves that need everything in place for us to really heal, I think we have a better shot at changing and evolving in a way that feels like it's going to keep on going, like it's expansive, like it's going to serve us, like we're really going to find healing that keeps on opening and softening and dissolving. And that's what we really want to go for. So if you are resonating with this part of this discussion, you're free to message me, comment below. If you really feel like this is a journey that you want to embark on, then jump onto my Patreon page and see if that platform calls you. Otherwise, reach out and I'm happy to refer on to some health practitioners that are doing such a good job to step up for people when they want to make changes. So all the love and all the abundance and freedom and truth to you all. And thank you for letting me share these concepts. This is still vulnerable for me and I'm still working on that part of who I am. But thank you for witnessing that, and I love you all. Thanks. Bye.